Hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday afternoon. We're here today to look at PHUN. It's a stock that was up on Friday, but not really by too much. It was up by about 0.72%, so yeah, it is a day in the green, and we're all happy to see it, but clearly, in relation to what we've noticed most recently, it's not the biggest increase at all. We're talking about what it means though, and where we could be going from now with this stock. Now, a few things to point out before we do fully enter the video. I'm going to be giving you guys more of a predictions video into next week, hopefully tomorrow, if not some point early on in the week, so do make sure to join us for that as well. Other important things to note is please do subscribe, because you'll just see we have recently hit 13k subscribers. Let's keep it going. Push up to 14k, it would be massively supportive, so if you can press the little red button, please do. Now remember as well, I'm not a financial advisor, this is not going to be financial advice, it's just my personal opinions, and I am not professional. Do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and if you do that, you will be fine. Now the third and final thing that I want to discuss is going to be the fact that we are currently doing a fundraiser for Save the Children. If you can donate anything, 100% of the funds do go straight towards Save the Children, and the link will be somewhere around the video, quite close to the title, so if you can press on it and donate, you will be making a very positive difference. But now, as always, we're going to go to simple charts, and this time we're going to just type in the name of the stock very quickly. So we're going to do that, and we're going to have a look at the charts for PHUN. So here we go, PHUN, and have a quick look at the most recent data for this one. And where we're of course going to start is going to be the 1 day simple chart. So now we've got that, we can just quickly assess what we've noticed, and really, it's not too good or bad. Like I said, it has been relatively neutral. It's been up by 0.72%. And coming into after hours, we're down by 0.71%. I'm sure the obvious is clear to you guys. We're actually pretty neutral for the day now overall. But yeah, things throughout the actual trading day are not looking too bad. You can see we opened off on a price of about 4.19, I believe it is. From there we had a bit of an increase, and this took us to our high of the day at 4.32 at 9.54. Now from there a decrease took us to our low. This was down at 4.03. We touched that price both here and also here as well, and from there you can see we had a bit of a rise, not really too much, just a little bit of upwards consolidation until we got to this point down here at about 3 o'clock, where you will see boom, we had that big rocket up, and it took us to our closing price of 4.22. So yeah, a pretty fair day. Again, not too big of an increase, only up by 3 cents, and coming into after hours down by 3 cents, so neutral for the whole day if we do take after hours into consideration. Now the past 5 days will have a lot of people confused, wondering what to do, because when we look at this one, it's almost exactly neutral on the past 5 days. You'll see it, we started off on Monday of last week on a price of 4.10. Now, of course, we have increased a little bit from there, but really it's nothing at all. We're still sat on 4.22, so it is a bit of a rise, but not really too big. And actually, the pattern throughout the week has been relatively flat. We had a dip going into Tuesday, but we recovered quite well. And getting into Wednesday, we saw our high of the past 5 days, which took us up to 5.13. And from there, we've been falling, and going from Thursday into Friday, a bit of a drop, but really not too big. You'll see that the momentum from Thursday really did start to slow down, and this is what we saw as well going into Friday. So the past month chart for this one, what we are trying to find out here is the same thing that we're trying to find out on DWAC, it's the same thing that we're trying to find out on a lot of these other stocks. We're looking for the floor, and this is something I always mention in, DWAC, Prog, for example, maybe to an extent, certainly in other stocks like Mark, Bean, and METX as well. We're looking for the floor on these stocks. Again, with the exception of Prog, we don't have too much data for a lot of these, in the sense that, yeah, they have been up there in the past. We're seeing rises for a lot of these in the 3 month. This is not one of those, by the way, but we're coming up from a price over here, which was well below the $1 mark, I do believe it was, or around there. So about 98 cents, roughly up to $1, we've been trading up until, I would say, the 21st of October. And then we had this big spike up taking us to 18. Now from there, you can see we've come down, and now we're sat in the $4 range, and we have been for a while. We had a bit of a drop down to the high 3s. But the ultimate question that we're trying to ask, where is our new level of support going to be? Where is our new level of resistance going to be? We need to kind of find out that information moving forwards to have a bit of a, more clear picture of where the stock is going into the future. Now, one thing that we have seen in the past few weeks, again, not really too inclusive, but really from about the 27th onwards, we can see that the stock has been quite flat in the $4 range. Now, our lows so far were in the 390s, and we saw that just a couple of days ago. So you'll see back in this time period, we were sat on the 390s, but now we're coming back up from there, and hopefully that's going to be our lows, but it is still quite unclear. One thing that we have seen so far, and an emphasis on the word so far, is that we have been able to remain quite close to the $4 mark for some time, so this definitely could be coming up to our new level of support, or we could be finding the support somewhere near where we are right now, and that would of course be a very good scenario, especially considering that the stock would still be up by 4 times at this point. So we have a lot of people who are still holding the stock. That is a good thing as well for moving forwards, because it shows people are not selling, and that is ultimately what keeps the price where it is right now. Now, to see it move up into the future, we are definitely going to need that buying pressure to come back into the stock, but I'll talk about this more in just a couple of moments. Start off on the 1-day chart, you can see a moving average of 417. This is a little bit below where we are, not too big of a deal at all, because we have seen that rise up towards the very end, and this is a lagging indicator. Of course, it's been caught out a little bit. You know, it's not unexpected, it's completely normal, it's not the biggest issue in my opinion. Come down to our RSI figure, that is set on 58, which is a little high. Bear in mind 50 is neutral, but being 8 points off on the 1-day chart isn't too bad either. And we can see that our trend for the MACD, it was becoming bullish as time went on, but as we saw a little bit of a sell-off towards the very, very end of session, it is dropping a bit right now. Still in bullish territory, but the lines are now crossing over and it is moving down. Now, the 1-day data, whilst it can give us a lot of information, I do prefer the 5-day and 1-day on the 1-month data. On the 5-day data, we can see that we're sat on a moving average of 121, I believe it is, or somewhere around that range. So we're really not too far off the actual price right now, and that's completely fine too. It's because we've had that time to consolidate. You know, like I said, since Thursday, we've been moving down very, very slowly, and really even since Wednesday, you've seen the price decreases start to slow down. So of course, our moving average has had the time to catch up, because we've not seen a big variation in share price movement on a day-to-day basis, which is fine. Now, come down to a few of our other indicators, we can actually see that our RSI for this time is increasing, coming back up right now to 63. It's a little bit high, but also not too big of a deal. 13 points off isn't that bad. It's nowhere near being overbought. It's about 20 points away from being overbought right now, so there's still a while to go until we're in that territory. But we could do with this one coming down a little bit to be more on the neutral side of things. Now, a few of our other indicators, such as volume, shows that volume for the Friday has been very, very low. If you look back to earlier days in the week, you can see we had that massive spike in volume when we had this big price increase, and you can see that through the candles down here. Come down to where we were on Friday, there are barely even any candles which are noticeable at all, which shows us that our volume figures were significantly decreased. But because we have had that flat motion as well, the trend for the MACD is looking quite flat too, and it does appear to be quite neutral, but it could be coming back into bullish territory very, very slowly. Now, the past month data does tell us everything that we need to know, and it is going to be the most inclusive. So a few things that we can make out from here is that, first things first, we have our volume figure, which is, again, on a candle standpoint, barely even noticeable. You cannot even see the candlestick down here. Now, as I said, volume is something that we do need. It's all well and good this stock having factors to rise in the future, and yes, it's all well and good people holding the stock, but if we do not have people buying the stock, if we do not have the buying pressure coming from somewhere, we're not really going to see it move up into the future, because of course people aren't buying it. So buying pressure coming back into the stock through a form of volume would be very, very nice into the next week, but whether that happens or not is going to be unclear until we start to see the new week commence. Now, the figure for our RSI down here is on 57. That's actually fairly good. It's not too far from neutral, and bear in mind we were actually considered to be overbought back on the 22nd, and we've been coming down from that ever so slowly since. So the fact that we're coming down into an almost neutral level right now is actually really good. I'm happy with it, and it is coming to where we want to be, and the trend for the MACD is looking increasingly interesting. Now, we didn't make a video on the stock yesterday, but one thing that we can notice from yesterday's trend going forwards is that we were coming quite close to crossing over into bearish territory, but now we are definitely coming even more close, because I said in our previous video that we were seeing these lines come very, very close to crossing over. We've seen a staircase form, as I did refer to it, so it's like a staircase forming downwards. We've seen red candles becoming steeper and steeper and steeper as steps, and that continued into Friday. So we had another red candle, you can see, which is taking us almost below the line. Now the line is neutral, the line is set as 0. And if we get below the line, that is technically considered bearish, because it is already stepping into a bearish trend as an early indicator, but coming below the line would be very, very bearish on the MACD. Now another thing which is a bearish indication on the MACD is the two lines up here. You'll see these two lines, which are actually quite far apart back here. That shows that they are coming into the bullish territory, but as time has gone on, As the trend on the MACD has decreased, we can see these lines are becoming tighter and tighter and looking to cross over and go back down. Now, a crossover of the lines is again another sign on the MACD of a bearish trend, so I would say overall the MACD is looking pretty bearish in the past month. So where do we go from here? It's definitely quite hard to say. What we're trying to do, like I said, is definitely establish these support levels and resistance levels. It looks like we are coming close to finding those levels in the high 3s to the mid 4s, which is completely perfect. What we need now is to see where the stock is going to go, because we can hold this level at the 3s and the 4s for some time. It doesn't mean anything. People are not looking for the stock to hold. I mean, yes, they are to an extent, but what people are really looking for is going to be gains. They want the price to increase, and I do completely understand that. So what we're looking for going forward is a bit of a breakout. We want to see this one start to break out, hopefully into next week, or at least some point into the next month. If we do not see that, I would be quite I'd be questioning the stock. I understand that there are some factors behind it fundamentally which could work as big catalysts, but for me, in my personal strategy, I would be looking to swing trade this one. And if I was looking to swing trade it, I think now isn't the worst time to buy in. Again, it depends if you're comfortable with this stock. Don't look at it from a normal perspective. I wouldn't say buy in because it's necessarily a good buy. I'm talking about this from a PHUN standpoint. If you were looking to buy PHUN, now could potentially be a good buy. If you are not looking to buy PHUN, you should definitely educate yourself about the risk, because it is a very, very, very high risk stock, and it is quite unclear where this one is going into the future. So I think now is coming down to a decent territory to buy, in my opinion. Again, I could be wrong. I am not a financial advisor. That's just what I personally believe. But I'll be giving you a few more of my opinions in a predictions video, hopefully at some point tomorrow, if not early into the next week. So thank you for watching this one. See you all again tomorrow. Goodbye. So thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.